If you or somebody you know has their driving test coming up, listen to this because this could be the difference between them passing and failing. The DVSA have introduced what they are calling the 7-point plan. I'm going to share with you what they're going to do and how this is going to affect you. And everyone's talking about how difficult it is as a learner trying to find a slot. It is absolutely impossible. But it's also a massive stress on the driving instructors as well. Because I've got a student down the road, Steve. He's got his test in 2 weeks. Steve's not quite ready. Now, Steve is obviously desperate to do his test. I don't blame him, I would be as well. But if I take him in my car and he does fail, it's going to be a black mark against me, which is more likely to get me in trouble. It's going to knock his confidence if he fails or does something dangerous. Potential risk to my car and a potential risk to the examiner. But if I tell him to move it, he might not get another test for 3 freaking months.
Say what?
So what do? What would you do in my situation? If I knew we could get a test in 3 weeks, this wouldn't be a problem. So what are they doing to change it? First, they're going to try and tackle the test scams and the booking abuse. Let me ask you a question. Do you know anyone that has been affected by the long wait times or has been scammed for a driving test scam? You know, you go online, go on Facebook, pay, £300 for a driving test, and then wham, bam, thank you, man, they disappear off the face of the earth. So originally you could book a driving test willy-nilly. Then the DVSA changed it so you could only book a driving test if you had a provisional license, so someone actually eligible to take the driving test. So this has helped the situation because it now reduces the number of people that can actually book a driving test. Then they made it so automatic bots couldn't just go booking driving tests because they had to do, the caption, are you human? That also helped, or it's supposed to have helped a little bit, but we're still no better. So what problem have we got with this now? Well, essentially, instructors have a block booking system where they can log in to a separate system if you're a driving instructor and book, say, 10 driving tests, but only if you've got provisional license holders. So I guess a whole bunch of people out there have taken advantage of that situation and bought up every freaking test in the country. Then essentially they're trying to sell on the test for more money, acting as middleman. A bit like, I guess, when the new PlayStation comes out and everyone buys every single one up and then charges stupid money for a PlayStation. You see them on eBay for like a grand when they first came out. Well, they're doing the exact same thing with a driving test. So much so that I went into this system once to look for a test and I gave up because it's just no point. It was no better than the learner system. So the DVSA have said they're going to crack down on this. They're going to keep an eye on instructors, see what they're booking, see if they are cancelling, because they're going to cancel last second if they don't sell, and then they're going to ban them if they are doing that. Which is good. It's a really good start. Whether or not it works, we'll see. It is going to mean there's far more available slots for you guys out there. It's also going to stop learners having to pay inflated prices for tests for middlemen, which is just not fair. And I can name at least 2 occasions where I've had people come to me and say, Josh, can you help me find a driving test? I'm teaching them. And I'm like, it's not hard, do X, Y, and Z. And they're like, yeah, but I've already been scammed once. I don't want to get scammed again. I trust you. And I've had to actually physically go through the process with them and show exactly what to do and how to not get scammed. It's really sad. It's not fair. They've lost between £400 and £500 on this non-existent test. So what else is the DVSA doing? They are boosting driving test availability. How are they doing this? Well, the obvious choice, they are hiring more driving test examiners. 450 new examiners. It doesn't actually sound like that much across the country, really, does it? But bear in mind, each examiner can do 7 tests per day. So 7 times 450 is 3,150 tests extra per day. That's not bad. That's not bad. Don't know if it's going to make a dent, but we will see. They are also considering changing the 24-week booking system. Basically, if you want to book a driving test, at the moment, you can only book up to 6 months ahead. So if every single slot's gone, well, you can't book a driving test. If they increase that, people can plan ahead further, but will people take advantage again and just buy up every single freaking slot? We'll see. So general idea, more examiners, more tests, less waiting. Here's a question for you. Have you seen the Ready to Pass campaign that the DVSA are pushing out? Let me know in the comments. It's really important because if you haven't, then it's not working very well, is it? But if you haven't, I will tell you, the DVSA is pushing the Are You Ready to Pass campaign. And it's helping learners identify when they're actually ready to take their test rather than when they want to take their test. And that's an important difference because if you don't know what you're looking for, you don't know if you're ready. This one's a bit controversial. As part of that campaign, they're considering increasing the wait time between driving tests. So say Bob fails his driving test. At the moment, he has to wait 10 days before he can sit another driving test. They're considering increasing that up to 30 days. The idea of it is it reduces the number of people that are going not ready, giving other people an opportunity. Unfortunately, it's also going to affect the people that are ready and they've just made a hiccup. So moral to the story, be ready, pass first time. They are looking at strengthening the DVSA, strengthening the test cancellation policy. Ooh. So at the moment, to cancel your driving test, it's 3 working days. And this is what I talk about. Driving instructors, other people have bought up all the tests, and they can, if they don't sell them, which, you know, they can cancel them up to 3 days later. And then obviously they get swallowed up. But, you know, 3 days before isn't preparation. It's not fair. And believe it or not, there are wasted slots every single week as well. So the idea is it's going to reduce wasted slots and hopefully increase availability for learners. But idea, fewer cancellations, more opportunities. So what is the DVSA's goal? They are aiming to provide 1.95 million, so almost 2 million driving tests between April 2024 and March 2025. Are they going to hit that? I'll let you know. They would also like to reduce the waiting time down to 7 weeks by December 2025. That would be nice. And the final one, this is controversial. The AA is still pushing for the GDL license. The graduated license. The idea is anyone under the age of 21 that has been driving for less than 6 months would not be able to take passengers, being their friends, in the car. They could only drive on their own. The idea of it is to reduce car accidents and deaths. And they estimate it would reduce around 100 deaths per year and over 1,000 car accidents per year. Now, I can see both sides to this. I've got 3 kids. I remember being a kid myself, and I wasn't the most sensible, not like now. Might have taken me 35 years to grow up, but I did get there in the end. And when I was a kid, I can honestly say I didn't drive the most sensibly. Probably because I didn't understand the danger. And it is true what they say, you know, you really learn to drive after you've passed your driving test. The only reason being, you're in the car almost every day once you pass your test. You're not paying for an hour lesson once a week. So having that 6 months of experience on your own, without putting anyone else in the car at risk or having anyone else suggest you do stupid things, probably going to massively increase your chances of not crashing the car. So I can see both sides, but as a father, I would actually quite happily have them introduce this. So my boys, when they're 17 and they pass their driving test, they can't take passengers. I'd rather know that they're safe. Is that the right decision? Don't know. What's your opinion? Let me know in the comments. So what part of the DVSA's plan do you think is going to work? Do you think any of it's going to work, or do you think we're just banging our head against a brick wall? I think the booking system definitely needs to be fixed because people are just using it, as I say, as it's supply and demand. If they can limit the supply, then the demand goes up and people are going to start using it to make more money. So fixing that is definitely the big problem. But let's face it, the elephant in the room, why aren't you just getting more examiners? You know, that was the obvious choice. Get more examiners. The problem is they don't want to pay them enough. And I can tell you that because there is no way on this planet I would become an examiner. They do not earn enough. It takes a very special kind of person to become an examiner. One that wants a steady job, one that likes holiday, one that wants to leave work at work. It definitely isn't for the money. So my big solution would be pay the driving examiners more. How would you do that? Well, the only way I can suggest is putting the cost of the test up. I'm not too sure. I don't know what the correct answer is with that one, but the examiners need to be paid more. That's it. I am Josh, a driving instructor. It's been a pleasure. I will see you all soon. Boom!